City Fest 2025, it is back, this time with a new home, new format, new production partner, but the same dedicated love of pizza. The event is hosted and curated by Chicago renowned foodie and pizza expert Steve Dolinsky. Thank you so much for your time today.
Great to be here.
First of all, I want to say, thank you so much for your dedication to this event. Obviously, you know how much pizza means to us here in Chicago. Reimagining it, working to create an incredible experience for fans and for the businesses. And, just a heartfelt thank you, just to start off with.
Gosh, my pleasure. It's nice to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit about the new format. What we're seeing because we're expanded to 3 days.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a risk for us, right? Like we don't know what we're stepping into. We've got a new location in River North. We're in the big parking lot where Windy City Smokeout started, actually, right across from Nordstrom at Rush in Illinois. And so that's a new space. We're working with a new production partner, Duff Entertainment. They do a great job. They do events all over Chicago, so we know and trust them. But yeah, 3 days. It's a different format. We're going to a nighttime kind of event on Friday and Saturday. We felt like people just didn't really want to party and sort of drink in the middle of the day on a Saturday and Sunday necessarily. So it's going to be more of like a 5 to 10 p.m. event on Friday and Saturday. But then for more family friendly and younger guests on Sunday, we're going to do a noon to 5 or 6 o'clock. So that'll be, and then we have the educational components, a class uh, panel discussion on Sunday as well. So it's a little bit, you get the education, you get the entertainment, you get the live music component, and then of course lots of pizza, 14 different pizzerias each day.
I mean, you just mentioned the music, and obviously, when I think of my ideal Saturday night, listening to 16 Candles and eating pizza, like, what more could you want?
That's kind of the ultimate evening in Chicago, right? If it's nice outside and you're listening to the music from the 80s, which I love, it's so close to my heart, and having pizzas that are literally baked in front of you and served hot, that's really what makes our event so special. I mean, I can't tell you the logistics that go into bringing in these Maraforni ovens from Washington, D.C., bringing in the power generators to power them because they're all electric ovens and they're massive. They weigh thousands and thousands of pounds. We have semis that bring them here. That's really the kind of the key to our event that you're baking these pizzas fresh to order because I don't think there's any substitute for that. You can't just bring in pizzas from somewhere else and try to reheat them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, tavern, deep dish, thin crust, Detroit style, Neapolitan. I mean, so many different types of pizzas. Tell me a little bit about that process of curating each one of the days and having that representation.
Yeah, so that's what makes the Chicago event so special across the country. I think we've done this event in LA, we've done it in Nashville, and we've drawn from those regions. But again, those regions do not have stuffed or deep pan or deep dish or tavern style. And so those four styles really make our event so unique. On top of those four, as you mentioned, Sicilian, Detroit, Roman, Neapolitan, artisan, we have got, at least 8 or 9 styles every day. So you're getting them all in one place, city, suburbs. We've really curated this, as you said, to highlight the best of the best, but also so that there's a little bit of everything. I like kind of a little bit of cheese pizza. I want to have maybe a pesto pizza. I want to have something with sausage. I want to have giardiniera. You're not going to get just cheese pizzas across the board. That's what makes ours so special. And so, yeah, each day we've curated it so that, 14 pizzerias, 7 or 8 are going to be with beef or pork, and then 7 or 8 will be without, will be for vegetarians or at least veggie friendly.
Yeah.
There's always going to be one plain cheese slice each day because that's also an important thing to have. I'm kind of a fan of less is more. I don't want to have we call the smog, this like the sausage, mushrooms, onions, green peppers. I think that's too much. I don't want to have too much on a pizza. And so we've specifically asked the pizzerias, keep it to a minimum, 1 or 2 ingredients beyond the cheese and sauce so you can really let the crust shine and really see what these pizzas are about.
I mean, but the thing that I love about you is, not just, the tours and your work on television, the investment that you have in the pizza makers and how the process, goes through and the community and their family recipes and, just taking that in-depth look. I mean, talk a little bit about that aspect of not just, oh, I need to check off this box of this style of pizza, but really looking at the story behind the pizzerias that are going to be there.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this event is that you actually meet the pizza makers. All the owners are going to be at this event because they know how important it is to be there and represent their brand. So if you wanted to talk to Jerry Serwinski from Uncle Jerry's in Cary, which is an unbelievable deep dish pizza. I've always loved my pie, and they're making a special one-day appearance on the 24th because they close now. But they're going to come back for us. But you can actually meet Rich Aronson from My Pie. You can ask them whatever you want to ask about the recipe, about the background, about their inspiration. That I think is really important that you meet the pizza makers. In fact, I ask the pizzerias, hey, owners should be at the front serving the pizzas. Have somebody else working the ovens so that guests can actually meet you and talk to you. That's what makes this event so special and so unique. You actually meet the owners and talk to them about their process. And so, yes, you'll meet an old school place like Pompeii on Taylor Street. They've been around for, I don't know, 70, 80 years. But then you also meet kind of the upstarts and the new kids like Lantern in Downers Grove, which does an incredible neo-Neapolitan pizza. So that's the cool part. You meet the owners, you get their stories, and it's not just the new kids from the city that get all the press. It's also the folks from the suburbs, Tivoli in Palatine, Lantern in Downers Grove, Uncle Jerry's up in Cary.
Let's talk a little bit about my pie. One of my favorite and my family's favorite spots. It started, in Loyola, Lincoln Park, Bucktown. That conversation you had with Rich, so like, you close down at the end of June. We at least come back for this. I mean, talk a little bit about that conversation.
Well, it's also the date, right? August 24th, 1971, they opened up on Loyola's campus. And so how fitting it is it that they're coming back on August 24th, 2025. They're now closed, as you said, but they're going to come back for one day. It's such an important part of my childhood because I grew up in Minnesota. And I don't know if you know this, but my pie was in 9 states at one point, and I had it as a kid in the 70s growing up in Minneapolis. So I'm very familiar with my pie. And when I moved to Chicago, of course, they were in Lincoln Park then in the 90s. And then I followed them over to Bucktown. And they've been on our tours for many years, for 7, 8 years already. And I just think we have to pay homage to them. We have to do the hat tip. We have to
Yeah.
really take a bow for Larry Aronson and his son Rich, who've done such great things for Chicago's pizza scene. So that's going to be the highlight, I think, on Sunday, August 24th.
Yeah, get there right when doors open just to make sure you're in line. I want to share a little personal story, just since you shared, your story of them, growing up and the first time you had it. One of my relatives worked in Lincoln Park, and that was kind of like when she had a lunch break. We would go to My Pie. They had a lunch special. We got to go to the salad bar. We got to have a slice of pizza, and of course, as kids, we got to play those video games, which was just like we get to play video games while we eat for the pizza. Like it was so cool. But it became a meeting spot. That's one of our family traditions is no matter whose birthday it was, we always gathered together for lunch. And My Pie was that spot. So my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. So when we heard the news, it was almost like losing a family member. And all of our freezers are all stuffed. We all got 2 frozen pizzas to keep that memory alive. But as we were standing in line on that last day to get our pizza orders, there were so many people in line that had similar stories. And it was just interesting to see that sometimes, these people that are represented in Pizza City Fest or just, what these pizza places mean. It's not just, oh, we like this style of pizza, but it has a family, maybe a first date, maybe, a place you always go to that just has such a deep connection to people.
I mean, they've been around for 53 plus years, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have generations of fans and people who followed them in other states or in Minnesota or just here in Chicago. I just think it's a sad story that they're not going to be with us anymore, but I'm just so happy that they're coming back for one day to really just kind of go off on a high note.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be a fun day to celebrate them and give them one last kickoff. Obviously, the owners are going to be there talking to people. People are excited to try, maybe their favorite ones, maybe a new place, but kind of navigating the lines. I know sometimes people can get excited and lines can be kind of long. It may be a tip for people as far as kind of getting the most out of Pizza City Fest.
Well, but we've learned from
Yeah.
the past. So when we do an all-inclusive, all-you-can-eat ticket, which we do in LA, and for whatever reason, the lines aren't that bad.
Yeah.
But in Chicago, they were just unseemly. And so we've got an unlimited ticket for VIP, but then we've also mostly general admission is an a la carte ticket. So
Right.
I don't think we're going to have any long lines anymore because people will have to actually think, do I want to spend money for this? Kind of like when you go to Windy City Smokeout,
Yeah.
which is how we got the idea. They do everything a la carte. Nothing is included in that ticket price. So
Yeah.
it's going to make a big difference. They're not going to be crazy lines anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. And even when I go, I always look, I'm like, oh, who has the shortest line? Let me go check my way. And then I'll just kind of make make my round to check out everything. So that's exciting. And congratulations again. And, obviously, another thank you for the investment. You know how much you can go walk at any street corner. Someone's talking about the weather, the traffic, or pizza. You know how much it means for us in Chicagoland.
Yeah. No, it's part of our fabric. It's just like Italian beef.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a whole other conversation. We can have another conversation about that again.
Well, you're going to see Italian beef on some pizzas at our event with
Yeah,
Chardonnay.
no, I'm excited. I'm going to eat very little on that Thursday, leading up to it, so I can pace myself once I actually get there. August 22nd through the 24th, 4:30 North Rush. Tickets at pizzacityfest.com. And thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Can't wait to see you guys.
Thank you.